Hey, I'm Scott Ryder. Welcome to my YouTube channel, IWNQ. I Will Never Quit. I'm coming to you today from Irvine, California. I'm really excited because I want to introduce you to somebody you should know. And the reason I'm in Irvine, I'm at the inaugural, the first ever Parkinson's Foundation Volunteer Summit. So I want you to meet my friend Sean Kramer. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning.
Sean, tell me a little bit about your role at the Parkinson's Foundation.
Sure. So I'm the Senior Vice President, Chief Development Officer for the Parkinson's Foundation. My role has everything to do with revenue generation, philanthropic gifts, supporting the mission and the efforts of the Parkinson's Foundation for the community.
So to a simple guy like me, in street terms, that means you're the guy that goes after money.
That's correct.
To help fund all the great things that the Parkinson's Foundation does.
Correct. Me and a team of folks that are spread across the country working on behalf of the Parkinson's community.
So I'm curious, I have some questions for you. Prior to joining the Parkinson's Foundation, what were some of your other roles? Because I doubt that you just step into this role having never been in a position similar like this before.
Sure. So I've, for the most part, been in nonprofits my entire career. More recently, I was raising money for a hospital in South Florida, coordinating their capital campaign for New Cancer Institute, their Cardiac and Vascular Institute. I have been with the American Red Cross, the American Cancer Society. So my whole mantra or belief has been have to wake up every day believing in what I do and believing that I can make a difference in the world. And so, this opportunity with the Parkinson's Foundation came along, and it was just a blessing, and have been honored and thrilled to be a part of it.
The reality of when you're working for a cause like the Parkinson's Foundation, everything costs money. That's a reality. Research costs money. To provide materials, it costs money. I don't want to say it's cold, hard truth, but it's just the truth. It costs money. And having been around for a while and met different people that are on all different stages of Parkinson's disease, I know some people are hesitant to ask others for money for what I think is a fantastic cause. What advice would you offer somebody that's sort of nervous about asking someone for money?
Well, I think the first thing that I would say is if you never shoot the basketball, you never score. So the first thing you have to get over is the fear of asking. The interesting thing in my particular role, and as I go out and talk to people, is I think people have two biggest fears in life. One are public speaking, and the second one is asking people for money. So I think number one, you just have to get over the fear first and foremost. And secondly, if you're asking somebody for something that you are passionate and you believe in, most people are generous. And they will give. So you just have to tell your story, believe in the mission of the organization that you're raising money for, and the dollars will come.
Prior to becoming involved with the Parkinson's Foundation, did you personally know anybody that had Parkinson's disease?
I did. Actually, I had several of my donors that were at the hospital that I was at had Parkinson's disease, have Parkinson's disease. So I got to know them pretty well. Not specifically around their disease and the challenges that they were facing, but I did have experience with the PD community. And then more interesting for me was that a few months after I started here, I heard from my best friend from middle school that I had been in contact with but not really spoken with. He learned that I was here at the Parkinson's Foundation, and he told me that he had been diagnosed with early onset at 43. So
a guy your age.
Yes, correct.
It's amazing. Have you stayed in touch with him since then?
I have, yes, and have obviously worked to get him involved and plugged in and sent him resources from the organization. So that's as close as it has gotten to me. I continue to be shocked and surprised with the number of people as you start to explore Parkinson's and the Parkinson's community. When you say you work for the Parkinson's Foundation, how many people will say, my father, my brother, my son, whoever it may be.
That's interesting, your answer, because it seemed to me once I was diagnosed with Parkinson's, it seemed like my awareness was heightened and like it's everywhere. It seems like you just suddenly run into people or meet somebody that you never knew of before that had some contact with somebody that has PD. Kind of fascinating.
It absolutely is, and as you heard yesterday at the Leadership Summit, we just completed the prevalence project, the first one done on Parkinson's disease since 1978, and confirmed that close to 1 million people in the United States do have Parkinson's disease. So it definitely is a disease that has some prevalence in across the nation, and will only continue to grow as the population continues to get older as well.
So on that prevalence study, a couple things that were amazing to me. 1978, and the sampling, that small town, I think, in Mississippi. But for the public, where can they have access to that prevalence study?
Yeah, they can go online to parkinson.org. I believe it's /statistics is the website where you'll be able to find and download the actual study itself.
So what a huge resource. I mean, that's, in my estimation, that's a huge development in the world of Parkinson's disease. Am I right?
It's a great next step in the world of Parkinson's disease, especially if you think about and look at what is coming next. The next part of the study that we are funding is now an incidence study as well that will focus around a number of people diagnosed annually with Parkinson's disease, which ties into one of our new initiatives that we're going to be launching, which is our newly diagnosed initiative, and reaching out to everybody that is newly diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. And then subsequent to that, we'll be doing an economic burden study. And we'll be doing that in conjunction with the Michael J. Fox Foundation. So we're partnering with them on that. And then the goal is to be able to take that information to Congress and seek additional funding from Congress that is woefully low at this point in terms of Parkinson's research.
That's huge. That's really huge. I've said this before, and I'll say it again, then I'll move on to the next question. But one of the reasons I chose to hitch my wagon, I like to say, to the Parkinson's Foundation, I can think of no other organization kind of in the space, same space as the Parkinson's Foundation, that takes 85 cents on every dollar, I think, and reinvest it back in the community and making life for people like me better today. I appreciate research. I know the Parkinson's Foundation does incredible research. I'm thankful for that. But I have to confess, for me and many people like me, I'm honestly more interested in making my life the best it can be today. So I'd commend you and the others at PF for making that happen.
I appreciate that. Our mission is to make lives better today, as you mentioned, and work towards advancing towards a cure. There are I want to be out of business. Put it that way.
Yeah.
If I'm here in 10, 15, 20 years, we're not doing something right. So we're focused on trying to end this as a disease today, and equally make sure that folks like you and other people in the community have great quality of life.
Could you think of one person in your life that's been the single greatest influence?
Oh, my father, by far. And he passed now 5 years ago. He was an immigrant, came to this country from Argentina, built up successful businesses and had a work ethic really second to none. And I have tried to strive to be as good a man as my father was. So
I get a lot of phone calls, people soliciting funds for different things, and one thing I always ask is, so what percentage of every dollar that comes in the door goes to the cause? And I'm shocked at some of the answers. Mm-hmm. I think I know the answer for the Parkinson's Foundation, but nobody better to ask than you.
Yeah, so I am very proud to say that we are now at 85 cents on the dollar. Goes back out into the community, which is a tremendous statistic for us to be able to tout. And keeping in mind that the Parkinson's Foundation by name is really a new organization, as we're the result of a merger between the National Parkinson's Foundation in Miami and Parkinson's Disease Foundation in New York. 2 years ago, when you looked at our overall numbers together combined, we were at 77 cents on the dollar. So, through efficiencies and through our ability to capitalize on now the Parkinson's Foundation, we've been able to move that significantly up to now 85 cents on the dollar, which is just amazing.
Yeah, that's very impressive. If we're sitting here 5 years from now, put your hat on, your imagination hat, how do you think raising funds for PF will be different than it is today?
Yeah, that's a great question, and actually we're just having a meeting this morning with my team, even talking about and strategizing out what we're looking at within the next 5 years. I think first and foremost, I'd say we're going to be raising a lot more money. Last year we just had record-breaking year, raising nearly $32 million. I would hope that we would be, at or above $50 million annually in that 5-year time frame. And what that means for the organization is great that we're raising more dollars, but it really means more programs, more services, more research that we're putting back into the community. So what does that mean in terms of fundraising, and how do we get to that point? You are well aware and an amazing advocate for our Moving Day program. We have 45 Moving Day events right now across the country, but we're only in 20 states. So huge growth opportunity for us to
Sure.
be able to expand our Moving Day initiative. Programs like our Facebook fundraising. I would tell you and tell your audience as well, if you haven't done a birthday fundraiser on Facebook, it is really one of the easiest things that you could think about doing in terms of raising money. So we're going to see additional trends towards social media and online fundraising will continue. An area within the foundation that we really have not focused on has been cause marketing. So we're going to be doing a very large push towards engaging with businesses in ways that we haven't in the past. We've been very focused on pharma industry as in terms of corporate support, but I think that will start to shift now as well. There's still going to be good partners for us, but we do need to think creatively and outside the box when it comes to that.
Sure.
We're also thinking as well in terms of creating affinity groups, thinking about research, folks that are interested in funding research, and then getting them together and bringing research in to talk with them specifically around the exciting work that we're doing around research. So we will be a much different organization in I would say even 1 year, 2 years, and certainly in 5 years.
Hey, thanks for taking time. Thanks for all you do.
No, thank you. We cannot do the work that we do without efforts of amazing volunteers like yourself. You are a tremendous asset to the organization, and I'm, like I mentioned before, thrilled and honored to be able to do work on your behalf and other people in the Parkinson's community.
Thanks. Hey, YouTube world, make sure to subscribe to Scott Ryder, I Will Never Quit. Remember to click on the bell so that you can keep up to date when new episodes are live and online. And thanks for taking time to meet somebody that you should know, Sean Kramer.